approaching, so I've had the snip, well not the snip, but I've had a haircut. Beard's going to be going soon, but I didn't want to freak anyone out, so it stayed for the time being. But anyway, I been watching who's been doing it? Chris 4127 Basket, Fred, and Anders have all been, plus probably some other people that I haven't noticed so far, but these are the guys I've really been watching who've been doing a run through of albums they've bought in the noughties, and it's a good idea, so I'm kind of going to jump on the bandwagon and do some as well. I'm not going to go right back to the start, I'm just going to kind of play catch up and start now, which I think a lot of them have just done 2004. I think Anders has started back at the 0, but I don't think I have much from the start of the noughties, to be honest, so I have a few things, but 2004 I think I can do. So first thing I'm going to show is Fatboy Slim's Palookaville. It's just kind of classic Fatboy Slim. Some great tracks on this. Don't Let the Man Get You Down. Jingolo Bar, which was a track I loved playing in the club. This was about the time that I was DJing a lot. So Fatboy Slim's kind of big beat sound was right up my street. So there was a lot of stuff that he did that we used to play. But yeah, this is great, and it's got a bit of a dodgy version of Steve Miliband's The Joker at the end, which isn't that good really. But there's some of this is quite hip hoppy as well, actually, compared with a lot of his other stuff. But yeah, it's good, worth checking out. These are in no particular order. Arcade Fire. I know Fred said this was seen as being a bit of a hipster band, but they are very good. But I actually preferred Neon Bible to this. This is a great album, don't get me wrong. I don't know whether I over-listened to this, but I like the kind of gloominess of Neon Bible and the whole idea of it being recorded in that old church with the church organ was fantastic, and there's some great tracks on it. Here we have Air's Talkie Walkie, another great album from Air. This was about the time I went to see them in Manchester, and they were really good. It was the bizarrest gig I've been to. Everyone, there was like a woman that had dragged a like 12-year-old boy along who didn't look too impressed, and then there was like people at the front getting stoned, and then like they were standing next to like architect types, you know, in suits. It was a really weird mixture of people, but it was a great gig, and that's a great album. Big tracks on it are probably Cherry Blossom Girl, Surfing on a Rocket was a big hit. Alpha Beta Gaga is probably the most famous track on it. But yeah, this is a good album, and I can highly recommend that. Chemical Brothers, Push the Button. Again, this was another staple of when I was DJing. Galvanize, classic. Big Jump, that was another one that was great fun to play. But yeah, Chemical Brothers, can't go wrong with Chemical Brothers. I saw them live, it was actually after this, 2004, I think I saw them in 2007, and it was just phenomenally good, really good. Gomez, Split the Difference. I can't necessarily say this was actually one of my favourite albums of 2004, but the main reason I'm showing this is because the first copies of it that came out were signed, so yeah, it's quite a nice gatefold as well, so yeah, this has been signed by the members of Gomez. So that was really one of the main reasons I bought it. But they're, if anyone doesn't know Gomez, they're a kind of British, they're an indie band, but they're very kind of blues orientated. They're famous tracks, things like Whipping Piccadilly. But that was, I think this was their third or fourth album, and it maybe didn't get the best of reviews. I wonder whether they had a problem with their producer or something. But yeah, Gomez split the difference. Nice artwork on it as well. It's got a kind of Grateful Dead feel to it, I think. Now this probably is one of my favourite albums of 2004. Polyphonic Spree. This is Together We're Heavy. This was their third album, I think. Yeah, second album. My bad. But this is really good. It follows on, if you can see, I don't know how well this will show up. See, side A starts at section 11, yeah, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the album literally follows on from their first album, and the third one did the same, The Fragile Army. But this has got this track here, track 17, Suitcase Calling, is worth the admission alone. And I don't know why these guys don't get seen. They were basically doing what Arcade Fire was doing before Arcade Fire were doing it, and they never seem to get the recognition that they deserve for some reason. But this is a great album, and yeah, really good. This doesn't really need too much introduction. Brian Wilson Smile, great album. This is a 10-inch, Kings of Leon's Aha Shake Heartbreak. This was when they were still good, although as you can see they were starting to try and be cool, which I think initially their first album, which is fantastic, they actually were cool, and it's still by far their best album. This one came out and it was still basically had the same feeling as the first album, but maybe isn't quite as good. I can't remember if this is on. Yeah, this is a double 10-inch and it's on clear vinyl, which is quite cool. But yeah, this wasn't as good as their first album, but it was still before that point where they obviously got stylists and became a bit self-conscious. But this is still worth checking out. I don't have their first album on vinyl, unfortunately. I wish I did, but I do have that one. Beta Band, Heroes to Zeros. I couldn't go without showing this. I've shown this before in other videos. Beta Band, great Scottish band. Great when they get it right. Sometimes when they don't get it right, they can be quite bad. But I think they're struggling to live up to the 3 EPs. Unfortunately, it's one of those people that did like a huge first album, and then have, you know, everyone raved about it, and then they've struggled to keep up with that. And this one, Two Lone Swordsmen, The Double Gone Chapel, another great album, another Warp release. Yeah, don't need any introduction really. Two Lone Swordsmen, great electronic. If you like, you know, Square Pusher and Aphex Twin. No, maybe not so much. They're maybe a bit harsher than Two Load Swordsman, but really great electronic music. I don't like to use the IDM. I think I've said that before. Phrase, but yeah, Two Lone Swordsman. If you don't know them, look them up, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. But that's 10.5 minutes, which is plenty. I might actually try and record 2005 now, because I don't know when I'll have a chance to do one next time. But take care, and yeah, talk to you soon.